Hi, everybody. My name's Darren, and I'm an
Darren.
alcoholic.
Hello, Darren.
Hey, mate. Thank you, Sammy and Anthony, for inviting me over here to your meeting. It's great to see all you young'uns just kicking ass. And I thought AA was going to be stupid, boring, and glum, and boring as fuck. But I tell you what, it's anything but that. But a drunk, like I'm the worst drunk I've ever met, by the way. But for somebody like me, and possibly like you, if you're a real alcoholic, none of this is going to make sense, and none of it is going to be fun unless I actually recover from alcoholism. And I get to recover by, working some steps and getting into action and being involved. And if you didn't notice by now, I'm not drunk right now. I'm not having a stroke. I was born in Manchester, England. That's why I have a funny accent. And I absolutely love Alcoholics Anonymous because I'm the worst drunk I've ever met, and I was dying of untreated alcoholism. But luckily somebody told me the truth early on, and the truth is that everything's not going to be okay, Darren. Nobody just put their arm around me and tell me to keep coming back and all this shit. They told me, if you don't arrest this illness, there's only 3 outcomes, which is jails, institutions, and death. And some of us know that. Some of us know that. I was going to jail, and I was going to the lockdown psychiatric unit. I'm going to the detox every other week, and my life is just a living hell. And the illness of alcohol was luckily described to me pretty well. It's like, yeah, we think we're doing too much drinking, and yeah, we're doing too much drugs. This is Alcoholics Anonymous, so I'm going to talk about alcoholism, but I did try cocaine once for 20 fucking years. I love that shit. I love amphetamines. I love speed. I love anything that will make me out drink you under the table kind of thing. I was speeding my head off so much in England that you'd need an elephant gun, boof, to dart me down and pass me out. And so, but I'm glad they told me the truth, that I needed to have a spiritual awakening or a psychic change. And I tell you that not to be boring. I tell you that because it's the truth. And there will come a point within your journey, if you're a true alcoholic, where the only thing that's going to help you is this, we've entered the world of the spirit. None of us want to do it. I thought this is the lamest bullshit thing in the world until I had to do it. And then this magic trick happened. And the magic trick is I went through the steps and my little English heart filled up to the brim. And then I got it. Then I understand why the greeter is so into this thing, why Sammy loves to chair the meeting, why other people are into action. I finally kind of got it. It only makes sense after we do the 12 steps. So I really urge you to do that. I thought an alcoholic was the typical bum on a street. He's got a big bushy beard. He's begging for change. That loser figure. Can't be any of you lot. You're too young. You're too good looking. You're too put together, whatever. Now I know different. Now I know an alcoholic is basically someone who shouldn't drink. And then when they do pick up, they tend to overshoot the mark and really fuck their lives up. And so I didn't end up in AA because I spilled some beer down my t-shirt. I ended up in AA because I barbecued my life. And I'm that special kind of alcoholic where I just don't fuck my own life up. I'm going to burn your life down to the ground as well, right? Some of us like to take others down with us. And, things got so bad for me, I finally had to make that call to Alcoholics Anonymous. I used the yellow pages back then, and I know you don't know what that is, some of you, but I called the number and I went to this meeting. And the meeting was nothing like I'd seen on the TV in England, where it's depicted so horribly bad. It's unbelievably depressing. Usually there's 14 bald, fat, old, cranky men in a smoky-filled room, and one of them's like a week sober, and they're all clapping and crying. I'm like, fuck, I never want to end up there. But this room, when I went to AA, this room was very different. There was a huge, well-lit room. There was a vast amount of fun about it all. People were high-fiving each other. Somebody had gotten promoted at work. Somebody else had gotten engaged. And I'm watching all this camaraderie going on. Now, I'm sat on my seat out of the way because I don't want to catch anything from these happy fuckers. You know what I mean? They're all scaring me. They're all way too happy. But I'm observing. And I'm just wondering what the hell is going on here. And then the next thing that happened really captured my attention. Just underneath, the deadly earnestness kicked in. The meeting was about to start. Everybody shut up, got off their phones, and respected the meeting. And I thought, well, this is a good time to open my jacket pocket. I pulled out a big bottle of vodka and started drinking in the meeting. And the guy next to me is like, holy fuck, he's drinking vodka in the meeting. Like, and I was astounded that no one else was drinking. I'm like, isn't this AA? Don't you have a drinking problem? And I stayed drunk in the rooms of Alcoholics Anonymous in Santa Barbara for a whole year, and I got quite the reputation. I'd come to a meeting, everyone say, look, here's that English mad fucker, watch, he's going to pull out a bottle of vodka in a minute. And I did. And I did because I didn't know anything about recovery. And Alcoholics Anonymous was just a place for me to come and die. I didn't know there was 12 steps. I didn't know there was sponsorship. I thought I'm just doomed to an alcoholic death. And, you know, you can't scare us with death at this stage of alcoholism. It's like, bring it on, dude. I used to fantasize about killing myself all the time. I'd be riding down my State Street on my bike here in Santa Barbara, and I would just fantasize about going under a huge delivery truck because I want oblivion. I want to be taken away right now. And it would look like an accident. And only you understand it when I say something like that, you know? And so it took me a year of going in and out of hospitals, in and out of the lockdown psychiatric unit. And death was welcomed because, you know, my fear is not dying an alcoholic death. My fear is living an alcoholic life. Some of us don't fucking die, right? Some of us are in that gray suicide area for years. You know, we are tough. And, you know, I remember I came out, you know, and going to the lockdown psychiatric unit was normal for me at this point. You know, I would, and I look, it sounds depressing, but I love me some lockdown psychiatric unit because I know what's coming my way, man. A lot of narcotics are coming my way. And I know the drill, you know, you go to the lady in the little window and I'd say, hey, Mary, back again, mate. How are you doing? Are you all right, love? You have a nice Christmas? I'll be saying to her, I need 118 Valiums, please. 2 pints of Seroquel, whatever the fuck they are on the top shelf, because they look fucking good. And I'll take my usual room, please, love. Unless that's taken, then I'll have the penthouse suite, my darling. And they'd book me in, fucking take my shoelaces off me and take my belt off me. And then I'd be all settled in and I put a robe on. And I know what I've got. I know what I need to do next. I need to go to the TV room. I got to go to the day room because I got to find me a girlfriend in this rehab, right? In the fucking nut house. That's all we want to do. And I go into the day room and I find her. The crackpot that she was, doing laps around the couch, shuffling around. She looked like that girl out of that scary movie. What's it called? The Ring, you know, a black hair was actually walking around the couch like this and just doing laps. I'm thinking she'll do great for me. I'll take that one. I'm just out of my mind. But here's what happened the last time I went to the lockdown psychiatric unit. I didn't realize it, but I'd hit bottom. Now then, if you're on your phone, fucking listen to this. This is all I want you to listen to. Hitting bottom is very specific for me. Hitting bottom is this. Hitting bottom is when you ask somebody for help and follow through with all the directions. Anything else is just a bunch of bullshit. It's your war story. Like I've got a war story. I hit points of desperation everywhere along the way. Usually our last debacle isn't the worst debacle, as was in my case. But for some reason, the outside circumstances didn't matter. The insides were killing me. And I'd hit a spiritual bottom like nothing before. So I decided I was going to ask for help. And I came out of the lockdown unit. I went straight to what became my home group, a powerful men's meeting called the Junkyard Dogs here in Santa Barbara. There was 80 men stood outside this meeting hall, smoking and drinking coffee. Dozens of them were properly armed with the facts about themselves and the illness of alcoholism. I went straight up to Mike and I said, Mike, I just got out again, dude. I'm going to drink tonight. You know it. I know it. What do I have to do? And he looked at me and went, fuck, Darren, are you sober right now? He'd never seen me sober that whole year of me going to AA. And I said, yep. He said, oh my God, let's get into action. He said, normally do some reading. We might do the ABCs. Let's just do a 3rd step prayer right now. There's 80 men around now. I hate God. I am not religious and I've never prayed in my fucking life. And I said to him, what, in front of these 80 men? He said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, okay, because the no had been beaten out of me. We hit our knees. We did a third step prayer. I went into that meeting. I went home and backed it up with action. I went home and I wrote 100 names on my fourth step. I got up the next morning at 5 a.m. shaking and baking, and I wrote 100 more names. And I called this man, and it wasn't even 6 a.m. And he answered the phone, dude. He answered the phone. I couldn't fucking believe it. I can never repay this man. I called him 12 times that day to finish all 3 inventories. I went to his house the next day. I shared my 5th step with him, and he gave me a big hug before sending me home for my hour. Gave me a big old hug and said, Darren, this has never fucking happened to me before. I said, I'm glad you feel good, Mike. I still feel like shit, mate. He's all, don't worry, man. Trust in the process. I went home and did my hour. The next day I did 6 and 7. And then I transferred my list and I added to my list. On my 4th day of sobriety, I went around Santa Barbara and I made 21 amends. 21 amends in all the bars, restaurants, and shops. And I swear to God, I was just rocketed into a 4th dimension. My little English heart filled up. I didn't know what to do with myself. I'm like, oh my God, it's fucking real. It's real because I saw, I felt, I believed. And again, I'm like, this is why some of these people are so into it. Others who are miserable haven't done the steps yet, or they're new, but some of these others who are on fire for Alcoholics Anonymous have had this happen to them. And it was just like this inside joke. I finally got the inside fucking joke. So if you're new and you're miserable, you don't know the inside joke yet. You have to earn the inside joke by going through all 12 steps to the absolute best of your ability. I said to him, I felt so good. I got up the next day, right? I got up the next day and went to Foodland Liquor Store, which was less than a block away from me. And I've been stealing vodka from that place for well over a year. And I asked to speak to the manager. I said, listen, sir, I'm very sorry to tell you this. I live 1 block away from him. I'm really bad drunk. And I've been stealing vodka from your store for well over a year. I said, I will never steal vodka from you again. I said, I'm trying to live my life differently. It was Friday. I said, I've just started work 2 days ago for the first time in years. It's Friday. There's $25. I'll be back every Friday with $25 until I've paid the whole $2,750 back to you. I said, is there anything else I can do to make this right? And he said, wow. And I said, wow, floated off to make some more financial amends because I couldn't believe how good it felt to give you your money back. I said to my sponsor, what the fuck is next? He said, Jesus, Darren, this has never happened to me before. It's steps 10 and 11. I said, 10 and 11? What the fuck's that? He said, 10 and 11. 10, I'll show you what to do right here, right now, if anything bad happens. You get to postpone the punishment of. I'm like, okay. He said, then I'll show you 11, which sandwiches the day. 2 minutes of prayer meditation in the morning, 2 minutes of reviewing your day at night. I'm all, fuck, 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Postpone the punishment of. He said, yeah, every day if you like. Were you being punished the last few years or months or weeks of your drinking and using? Dude, I was like the living hell. It was hell on earth. I would wake up suicidal on awakening going, fuck, oh my God. And now I'm like recovered, already recovered from alcoholism with a full heart, 2 minutes and 2 minutes. Now, if you're like me, you can't skip any of these steps. So many people skip on meditation, but I'm telling you, I need to be on the guaranteed version of sobriety. I want permanent sobriety. I'm telling you, there's a guaranteed version of sobriety, and it includes all the steps. Now then, meditation, I'll tell you something now. I'll tell you something real spiritual. I fucking suck at meditation. I absolutely suck at it. It's taken me almost 18 years to go from 2 minutes meditation to 10 minutes meditation. 18 years. But God loves him a little fucking trier, mate. God loves him a little fucking trier. My God up there, my God is watching me in the mornings doing my shitty prayer meditation, and he's laughing his bearded ass off going, look at that little English fucker down there doing his prayer shitty meditation. Look at him. What a little wanker, and he fucking sucks at it. But you know what? You know what? He goes like this, check. Give that little fucker another day of sobriety. That's what my God does. He don't give a fuck that I'm a potty mouth man from Manchester. He just cares about my actions, and he cares about my helping others. I'm telling you now, steps 10 and 11 are the keys to the kingdom. Steps 10 and 11 are so simple, you won't do it. Isn't that the fucking truth? So simple, you won't do it. But I am in, dude. I am in. I am sold on the plan outlined in this book. I got to do everything. I'm the worst drunk I've ever met. I went back to my home group, a recovered member of Alcoholics Anonymous, lit on fire, wanting everybody to feel like I felt. Suicidal on awakening for the previous 2+ years to now feeling happy, joyous, and free, or just okay. Just okay would have been good fucking enough. But I got way more than that, dude. This is for fun and for free. If this shit wasn't fun, I wouldn't be fucking doing it. But it's only fun if you're an active member of Alcoholics Anonymous. And you don't need years. You don't need 6 months. All you need is a few weeks and go through a gang of steps. That's all you need. And I'm in the trenches, man. I got to be in the trenches. I got to sponsor guys. I got to do my shitty prayer meditation. I got to review my day at night. I've got to do H&I. I've got to do all of it. I have to work a very good program just to feel normal, dude. Just to feel normal. Because some of us are sicker than others, right? So don't be confused with those annoying people that can go to one speaker meeting a week and they're good and fucking giddy and grateful and shit. Can't stand those fuckers. That's not my experience. I have to go to a lot of meetings. I have to be in the trenches. I have to be helping others, right? And what do I get for that? Every now and then I get a full heart. More often than I deserve, I get a full heart. I'll finish with a little story. I was going to say, I do a lot of AA in Santa Barbara because I'm pretty sick, but I do a lot of AA. I sponsor so many men in Santa Barbara and I do so much fucking AA. I should be the Dalai fucking Lama or some shit, but I'm not. I just get to be this nice, normal worker amongst workers. So because I got a funny accent, I get to speak a lot. And one time I was speaking at this Akipo convention and it was in San Jose in the Bay Area, right? If you never, I'm sure lots of you have been to one, you all being young as fuck and everything, but there's 3,000 young maniacs had taken over this Hilton complex. It was brilliant, dude, brilliant. And I'm the closeout speaker, right? So all these little young fucks have already left for the most part, but some of them were actually hospitalized because I think they'd overdosed on Red Bull or some shit. But then they ended up on a Monster drip and they were okay, so don't worry about it. But on the closeout speaker, so there's only like 600 or 700 left. And there's a girl next to me. She's about to give a 10-minute pitch. And she's on her phone texting. And all these people are looking at us. And I think this is really rude of her, right? It's a bit rude. And it's none of my business, of course. So I get involved right away. And I said, what the fuck are you doing on your phone? Could you get off your phone? You're embarrassing us. And she said, well, my sponsor in LA is having a problem. So we're in the Bay Area. I've never met her before. She's texting with her sponsor in LA. Now, her sponsor got sober 21 years previously. And she got sober with a bunch of people. They all ended up getting drunk apart from this one guy. When he was 90 days sober, he moved to Maui, Hawaii, stayed sober and raised a family, had 2 boys. He's having major, major problems with his 2 sons are dying of untreated alcoholism. And the only number he had was the girl he got sober with, and he texts her and tells her all about it. So she then in LA texts the girl next to me, and the girl next to me says, well, we've entered the world of the spirit. Said, I'm trying to find somebody from Santa Barbara. I said, oh my God, I'm from Santa Barbara. I gave her my number. We both give our talks. Everything goes great. So I'm driving home in my car with all the sponsees that I'd taken up there. Now, when I'm speaking out of town, I take all those hard motherfuckers, you know, all the tattooed guys, all sleeved up. Sometimes you got to, because you never know what you're going to run into. You might run into those NA fuckers or some shit. You know what I mean? You never know, dude. I'm just kidding. And so we're all in the car. We're driving home, right? And I remembered, oh, I've got to call this guy. So I call him on speakerphone. And he answers. I say, hey, my name's Darren. I'm coming home from a convention. I was told to give you a call. And he just starts crying. He just starts crying his eyes out, and it's so, he can't catch his breath. And it's such a moment of humility. And we're all quiet in the car, and I want to cry, but I can't because I'm with me tough mates. And then I look over, I'm like, look at me passing. I'm like, what the fuck are you crying right now? The fuck are you crying? He's got tattoos on his neck and shit. What the fuck are you crying for? So I'm thinking about crying, and I look in the back, and the fucking guys in the back are crying as well. I said, you got tattoos on your face, you pussy. What are you crying? And we're all crying. We all just can't get a breath. And finally, this guy starts talking to us, and I said, how can I help you? He said, my 2 boys are dying of untreated alcoholism. He said, I've never asked for anything in my sobriety from God. I've never asked for anything, but if my 2 boys need the hand of AA, please let it be there. And I said, dude, I'm in. I'm pretty well connected. What state are they in? Are they in the mainland? What's going on? I'll help us, whatever I can do. He said, they both attend Santa Barbara City College. I said, I work at Santa Barbara City College. We have entered the world of the spirit. And this is something you must not miss. I went back to Santa Barbara. I found, oh God, it kills me. I found both those young men, and one of them is a proud member of the Junkyard Dogs, and the other one is dying of untreated alcoholism. The yin and the yang of Alcoholics Anonymous. Dude, you couldn't make this shit up. This is fucking awesome. But it's not going to make sense unless you get the magic inside joke. And you can only get that by going through the steps to the best of your ability. And if you're having a problem with God, like I had a problem with God, then maybe I'll leave you with this. Religion might be for people that are trying to avoid going to hell. Spirituality is for people that have been to hell. Thank you very much. I can't wait to hear from you.